we're not extremely upset about being here on Futbol Americas. Somebody was extremely upset, though, about their one-game suspension. We will get there now because Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba received a one-game suspension after missing the All-Star Game last Wednesday. The league's rules states that if a player misses the All-Star festivities without an approved medical reason, they will be subject to a one-game suspension. So Messi and Alba missed Saturday's matchup against Eastern Conference leaders FC Cincinnati. So without Jordi Alba, without Lionel Messi, we're going to see how they fared in their matchup. It was in Miami. I say that for a very specific reason. And in Miami, Rodrigo de Paul was officially introduced to the crowd and sitting next to his buddy, at least, Lionel Messi had somebody to talk to. 11th minute, Luis Suarez with a great cross. Luis Picot sees his header saved by Roman Celentano here, Herc.
That's a beautiful ball across by Suarez, and it's a lot harder than it looks. Fafa Picot just right into the keeper.
55th minute, DeAndre Yedlin, though, sending the cross in. Evander skies at Case.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, it takes a nice little deflection into that far post, and you think, okay, just tap it in, and nope.
Hey, very happy Gilmore. Just tap it in. Just tap it in. And it wasn't happening for anybody. 68th minute. How about this one, Herc?
It's an easy shot across. Keeper doesn't do well with it, and Inter Miami very fortunate not to concede there.
Yeah, cleared off the line there by Gonzalo Luján, trying to find the back of the net. Miles Robinson heads it home, but the referee calls a foul off of Robinson here, Case. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like everybody's just kind of grabbing everybody. A little bit surprised, but, you know, I mean, I could see where it was a foul, but everybody else is fouling everybody else.
0-0. Let's listen to Masche.
Tengo una opinión de lo que ha pasado, se lo he comentado ayer. Nada, no vine acá ni para criticar la MLS ni para cambiar las reglas. Nos adaptamos a lo que sucedió, más allá que no comparto la decisión, no la comparto para nada, pero bueno, nos hemos adaptado. Lo que sí me resulta extraño que un día, digamos, se diga una cosa un día y al otro día se tome otra decisión completamente diferente, porque todos lo escuchamos, lo que se dijo, de que era entendible, de lo que venía, de la cantidad de partidos que venía jugando. Nosotros no perdimos, que se trate diferente. Ahora yo digo, hago una consulta. ¿Qué pasa si el partido de hoy era de visitante? ¿Hubiesen pedido también que Leo no juegue? Porque para llenar estadios y hacer taquilla, ahí nadie se queja, ¿eh? Lo que pasa es que este partido tocó de local. Ahí está el tema.
The mic is not on. It is on now. It was on Mascherano, but he wanted to turn it on the audience. I'm back, everybody. Everything's okay. But maybe not so okay with how this one-game suspension was taken. Case, are you cool with what Masche said specifically about the fact that the game was a home game instead of an away game?
Well, I mean, I'm not too, I mean, obviously he's disappointed he loses a player, but I mean, you know, this is something that, or two players, you know, this is something that MLS decided a while ago. And, you know, we were, ESPN was doing an MLS final, and it was right after MLS had made this decision that if a player had opted out of a All-Star week, that they were going to have a one-game suspension. So as Don Garber likes to do during MLS finals, he likes to come on the set and receive questions. So and Alexia and I were on the set, and I asked Don the very specific question of, do you want to set the precedent that missing a friendly that doesn't matter is more important than a league match that could make the difference of a team getting points and reach the playoffs, and then subsequently make it to the final and win MLS Cup? And he was flustered and didn't have a great response, but it doesn't change the fact that MLS is still setting a precedent that a match that doesn't matter is more important than a league match. Let's say Inter Miami don't have a great second half of the season. And potentially dropping 2 points at home against Cincinnati could be the difference of Miami making the playoffs or not, because Messi and Alba were suspended because they didn't go to a friendly? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Let's see. This is so low.
Where do we begin?
It's because it is where do we begin. Let me start off by reading what Don Garber told The Athletic Friday. It was a very, very difficult decision, and then acknowledged Messi's role in promoting the league that needs as much positive publicity as it can get. Nobody has done more for Major League Soccer than Lionel Messi, he said. There's already remorse in those words because he knows how stupid this is, these actions. I understand that nobody should be above the rules, but when you put all your eggs into one basket, you've already made that one person above the rules. The player has future stake in the team, he has merchandising, he has percentages of MLS season pass subscriptions. He is beyond any other player that Major League Soccer has ever had here. And what he was asking for was exactly what Kasey is saying. I don't want to play your friendly. I don't want to be part of your circus. I want to rest. I don't want to take a 5-hour flight to Austin. Please excuse me, the people of Austin. I want to prioritize my health. A player who's 37, 38 years old, who's going to be playing a World Cup soon, wants to take care of his body, you could understand that. Now, I understand that nobody is above the rules. Nobody's above the law. Major League Soccer should make their players do as every other player does. But Javier Mascherano is right. They move out of Columbus to Cleveland, Ohio, 4 hours away in a rivaling city, not caring about the season ticket holders of the Columbus Crew. They move that game to a bigger stadium to get more of the gate, more publicity, more promotion for Messi. With disregard about their faithful fans and how difficult that would be for them to accommodate their lives and go watch their team. They don't care about you there. They move games all the time and they promote around Messi and parade him like this is a circus. So when Messi doesn't want to take part in a circus, Messi is the bad guy. This is wrong. And I tweeted out right before the decision was made, be careful, be careful. This is short-sighted. Messi right now is in contract negotiations. As soon as this went out, he's going to be suspended. I'm literally at the grocery store and I get a text message from the head of comms from Inter Miami. Señor Jorge Mas, majority owner of Inter Miami, is going to be on a Zoom call. Yep. Here's the link. I'll log on, and one of the very first questions from The Athletic, Paul Tenorio, is how will this impact Messi and the negotiations and the perception for Messi of Major League Soccer? He dodged that question. Franco Panizo then comes back with the same question, and when he finally answers it, he says, this is going to impact it. I hope it doesn't, but this is going to impact the perception that Messi has in the league. And there are many fans out there, and that's a separate conversation. They're fed up with how dependent Major League Soccer is on Lionel Messi. Right. And that's a separate conversation. And you may be right, but you're already there. All your eggs are in this basket. So for a league that has constantly turned a blind eye for countless superstars and countless super teams to now hold this posture, this could come back to bite you.
Yeah, and it's cuando les conviene, right? When they really want it, that's when they use Lionel Messi. When Lionel Messi tries to have control, it seems to be a different situation. You mentioned Inter Miami co-owner Jorge Mas. Here's a little bit more of what he said in regards to how Messi is feeling on this situation. And I kind of toyed with the extremely upset at the top of our show because that's in essence what Jorge Mas said that Lionel Messi was feeling. I know that we haven't mentioned Jordi Alba a lot, but he is, of course, part of this equation. But hey, we know it's different, right? This is what Jorge Mas says. I wanted to express today our full support for Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba. The decision for them to sit out this week was made by the club. I think that is an important point. I want to assure everyone that Lionel Messi and Jordi have acted in a way commensurate with what the club would want. Continuing on with these two, Messi is very upset, extremely upset today, as expected. I'm hopeful it doesn't have an impact long-term, what you just mentioned, Herc. Will it have an impact initially in the players' perception of how the league's rules work, etc.? Absolutely, no doubt. Case, Jorge Mas being a realist here in essence.
Well, the last thing Jorge Mas wants, first and foremost, is a player that's a bit fatigued. You didn't even mention, Club World Cup where Messi played, back-to-back matches in a lot of heat, in a lot of, in some difficult scenarios. He sucked it up for that, did great. If anybody probably deserved a rest after that, it was Lionel Messi to then take that rest when it doesn't impact your season ticket holders, when it doesn't impact away fans coming to see you in a match, and it doesn't impact a match that actually matters and that points are on the line to get your seeding in the playoffs for a friendly. That doesn't mean anything. Now, what I would have, in some ways, could there have been a compromise? Could Messi have gone, shook some hands, met some sponsors, done whatever, okay, that's a different story. But in the end, it still comes down to a decision from MLS prioritizing a game that doesn't matter over league games. Herc, I agree 100% with what you were saying about all the eggs in one basket, but let's take Messi out of the equation and let's just talk just about the perception worldwide when you tell somebody, you tell the rest of the world, your league is so unimportant that this friendly against a Liga MX All-Star Game is more important than points, more important than where you finish your league table. I mean, to me, that is everything. Everything is based off of, can you win your league? Can you, get past, okay, yes, Supporter Shield winners, but can you take that further and win MLS Cup? Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. You're out. You're out because you didn't go to a friendly. Yeah, that's an interesting precedent.
And ask yourself why they waited to the day of the game to make the announcement that Messi wasn't coming. Can we speculate because maybe they thought it would affect the gate or promotions?
But I'm also thinking, Herc, that other players and other teams were saying, hey, wait a minute here. You have rules in place. He didn't come. I think Robbie Keane got suspended one time, for not going to an All-Star game and all that. Yeah, I would. Yeah, Ibrahimovic, I'd be like going, hey, wait a minute here. Messi doesn't, if you're going to make stupid rules, then you better, like you said, then everybody has to adhere to the stupid rules.
Yeah, I think the important thing to just really highlight here is this rule is dumb. Yes, it's dumb. Will it probably change in the future? Yes, it'll probably change in the future. What the owners are hoping doesn't change in the future is Messi's interest. What now we've realized per Jorge Mas is there may be a change in perception about how Messi feels. And it's not just this. It's an accumulation of things that has bothered Messi. And I'm sure there are going to be people out there saying, well, he's one player can't run the league. But he's got the coach in place that he wanted. He's got his friends in place. He's where he wants to be in Miami. He's got the league by the scruff of the neck. So very much right now, leading into the 2026 World Cup, and certainly for Inter Miami, that new stadium, very much Messi re-signing with the league, extending the health of the league hinges on that. And people may not like that, but this is where Major League Soccer has placed themselves right now. This is exactly where they position themselves. Whether it's right or wrong is a different discussion, but this is where they are.
And at the time, I'm sure MLS knew what they were signing up for. But these are the kind of things that you're like, this is really what I signed up for. This is the attention that it attracts. Having Messi, not having Messi, comment, no comment, it's still going to make global headlines because it is Lionel Messi. And it's surprising to see the not knowing how to communicate, which is concerning because we just saw that at the U.S. soccer level, and now we're talking about it at the MLS level of having a clear-cut communication between the most important player of the league and even the commissioner.
But I don't think it's communication, Chris. I just think this is the one animal they can't control. This is the beast that they have no idea.
It's not about control, it's about clarity.
It's always been about control with Major League Soccer, and they can't control Messi here. They can't say, Messi, go do interviews on late night. They can't say, Messi, be a good Samaritan, help us out with this. No, Messi is his own entity here, and he's the most important entity that's ever entered North America, at least in the modern era. We can go back to Pelé, what you will, but given the fact that this is a social media age, a digital age, you've never had as much attention on a global soccer figure in North America as you do now. They can't control him. They won't control him. And this right here can spiral out of control. The only reason we're talking about the All-Star Game right now is because the fallout of it.
Right. It wasn't because Messi had a fabulous performance. That would have been news from that day and maybe on the next edition of Futbol Americas.